Hey guys, Jules here for That Film Theory, and I just want to talk to you today about the Avengers, or more specifically, this. The ending of the Avengers, the snapping, as it's being called, where half of existence was wiped out in the click of a finger. It was quite depressing, but maybe we're reading it a bit wrong. Maybe this isn't as negative as it first appears. Maybe in fact this moment of cinematic history showcased a piece of hope, so bright that it would outdo all of Thanos' evil. I'm speaking, of course, about the actions of one person, Dr. Stephen Strange. Now, didn't you find it funny that Strange went up to Thanos and said that he'd seen infinite possibilities and only one of these timelines worked out well for the heroes? And then he let the snapping happening. Duh. But what if Strange has actually been orchestrating something from the very beginning, right under our noses? What if, instead of just allowing this terrible event to happen, that he's actually time-traveled back and met two people, Nick Fury and Captain Marvel? Well, the first question that you probably have is why? Why would he time travel back to the 1990s? Well, to put it simply, if Captain Marvel has the skill set that people are saying that she will have, then she will easily be one of the most powerful heroes in the MCU. Therefore, she'd be an invaluable ally in the fight against Thanos. But it's not as simple as just going back to the 90s and saying, hey, this big, bold, purple dude is going to mess a lot of things up, because that would affect Stephen's current timeline. And as he said before, there's only one that works out positively. While he may be able to warn the people, he might inadvertently create a much worse timeline for everyone involved, so has to keep certain things stum. So what evidence do we have to support that he does this? Well, notice how quickly Nick Fury was to grab his pager and text Captain Marvel. You don't do that unless you've been prepped for that exact situation. And also, we need to take into account that he's using a mere pager. He's actually contacting somebody who's already on Earth. This isn't an extraterrestrial device, meaning that she's in hiding, potentially waiting for the right moment to strike. It does also add a little bit of levity to his cut-off line, because maybe he's not actually cursing Thanos for this, but Dr. Stephen Strange himself. Because let's face it, if you're not going to mess with timelines, then you can't have people knowing that they're going to die, as that might affect their actions later on. Sorry there. Then we need to look at the setting of Captain Marvel's standalone film, which is going to detail the Skrull-Kree War. Now, if this is the case, then surely Nick Fury would know about aliens, and therefore it calls into the legitimacy of the Avengers initiative. He stated that the initiative started because Thor exists and basically proved that humans are not alone in the galaxy. But because we've confirmed that he's going to be in this prequel film, he clearly does know that there are alien life forms out there. So why lie? Well, maybe this is also part of Stephen Strange's plan, that he went back in time not just to warn them about Thanos, but to tell them who to recruit. After all, isn't it a bit more than convenient that the original Avengers lineup happened to survive the snap? What if they'd been chosen specifically because Doctor Strange knew that they could survive it, and then launch a counterattack? And finally, we have to look at the Time Stone. The fact that Stephen Strange gives it up so willingly suggests that he now no longer has any use for it, because he's already set in motion his plan that had effectively been building for decades. And if all of this is true, then it also lends credence as to why they were keeping tabs on him in The Winter Soldier. You'll notice that he's name-dropped as a person of interest in that film, and many fans were left to wonder why, because he hadn't actually become Doctor Strange at that point. Well, this kind of highlights that they were keeping tabs on him because they knew that he'd come calling eventually. As for where Captain Marvel is right now, well, that's for the prequel film to establish. Anyway, those would be my thoughts on Doctor Strange and the potential time-traveling shenanigans that he's been up to. Let me know what you thought about them down in the comments section below. And as always, I've been Jules. Thank you very much for joining me on That Film Theory. It's a very small channel at the moment, but we're hoping to grow it quite considerably over the next couple of months. So every bit of support that you can give us really, really helps. If you want to chat to me personally, then you can go back on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can follow at That Film Theory, and we can get a bit more cinematic. And if you liked what you heard, why not check out some of our other videos like this video that I did on who is really human at the end of the thing. I'm really quite happy with that one. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, I've been Jules, you've been awesome, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.